Are you ready to learn more about how to shop at the grocery store without gambling with your health? All right, let's get to it. So I'm here in the baby section of the store. Now, we want to always feed our kids and our infants especially things that are healthy, right? And so we're told, don't breastfeed, just feed them some, I'm not going to name the names, but I was about to name some specific names, but just feed them some baby food, right? Some infant formula. We used to use infant formula for a while with our baby, or our first child, Brianna. We didn't know any better, and so I'm not pointing the finger if you don't know any better, but after this you will. So you won't be using them after this. So some of the ingredients in these baby foods are really amazing. For instance, have you ever heard of glyphosate? Glyphosate is the main ingredient in Monsanto's Roundup. It's a pesticide. It kills pests. It's small doses. We're talking about 50 parts per trillion. Glyphosate has been shown to cause kidney and liver damage and damage to the reproductive organs and the hormones, okay? Things that you definitely don't want in an infant, okay? That's at 50 parts per trillion. There have been studies recently on a popular brand of infant formula that showed, and this was done at labs in St. Louis, Missouri, that showed that it contains 75 parts per billion of glyphosate, right? 50 parts per trillion is toxic to the kidneys and liver and the reproductive system. This formula has 75 parts per billion. It's like 1,100 times the limit that causes kidney and liver damage. Definitely not something that you want to put into your baby's little mouths and then into their digestive tracts. Let's keep going. Okay, so we're here in the deodorant aisle. It's actually the women's deodorant aisle, but that's okay. It's just for illustration purposes only here. So I'm just going to choose one at random here. Number one ingredient is going to be aluminum, zirconium, tetrachlorodex something. Okay, so it's basically aluminum and zirconium. Aluminum, as we know, been linked with Alzheimer's disease and dementia and even cancer with some studies. And so what we do is we especially if you're a woman, this is a woman's deodorant, you shave your arms, you spread the deodorant under there, and you've got minuscule, thousands of little bitty minuscule nicks in the skin that the aluminum absorbs right in under the arms. Okay, and you're going to get aluminum into your system, pronounce them. But anyway, number one ingredient though, 17% I think, aluminum, 19% aluminum. So what I would recommend is if you go aluminum-free deodorants, there's a ton of them. We'll go look at them here in a second. We'll go over to the natural section, right? And we'll show some good natural products like the aluminum-free deodorants, and also show some bad natural products that might have ingredients you wouldn't have expected in the health section. All right, let's cruise. So now we are here in the healthy living section of the store. And so wanted to make a point to you here that just because it's in the healthy living section doesn't mean it's necessarily healthy. Now, a lot of the stuff is, I'm not saying that, but just remember to continue reading labels, even when you're in this section. So I'm going to grab something here. I used to be a competitive bodybuilder. I was always in the, gotta eat lots of protein, gotta eat lots of protein. So, okay, I'm going to grab, okay, here's a bar. Never looked at it before, I just want to see the ingredients. It's something in the healthy living aisle, and it would be something that would be marketed towards bodybuilders. Okay, number one ingredients is a protein blend made of soy, which is going to be genetically modified. Number two ingredient is corn syrup, genetically modified corn. Number three is fructose, sugar, which is going to be genetically modified from sugar beets. So the top three, and I'm not going to read through, there's at least 50 ingredients, and the top three are genetically modified. So again, you got to read the labels. Just because it's in the healthy section doesn't mean it's healthy. You got a better shot here, probably a higher percentage of getting something healthy here, but just because it's here doesn't mean it's healthy. All right, all this talking's making me thirsty. I'm going to drink a kombucha here. One of the things you can drink in a store if you have a nice organic section. Really good for you. It's a fermented drink. But I want to talk about pet food here. We have a German Shepherd named Grizzly. We love Grizzly to death. And for a while, Grizzly was actually throwing up after every meal. And we thought he had stomach cancer or whatever. We didn't know, but he was throwing up all the time. And when he would get all the food up, he'd continue to dry heap. It was horrible. We switched him. We used to feed him one of the just the cheapest brands of dog food in the store that we could you know, you can't afford but so much, and we thought, okay, we're going to feed him a cheaper brand. It was probably, well, it was for sure. I looked at the ingredients. It was all genetically modified. It was genetically modified grains, corn, soy, and a whole bunch of other additives and preservatives and taste, you know, things to make it taste better. It was tearing the stomach up. So we switched him over to a brand here. It's I'm not going to name the brand, but I'm going to pick out. Here's a smaller bag up here. So I'm going to kind of go over the ingredients and look. Because we switched them. Dogs are supposed to be eating meat, right? Not grains. Dogs, they eat meat. Well, this has salmon, salmon meal, fish, and then it's got some dried potatoes, then peas, and then some pulp and some poultry and some flax. And there's nothing else bad. There's nothing bad in it. I don't see any genetically modified ingredients in here. No, because there's hardly any grain. But it's a great brand of pet food that we use for our dog, and as soon as Grizzly started eating this, within a couple days he stopped throwing up. So we think that whatever was going on in his system was being caused by the pet food that we were feeding him. And unfortunately at that point we just really didn't even know. You don't think about that, but if you look at most common pet foods, you're going to find out almost all the ingredients, especially if they're grain-based pet foods. It's all GMO. Corn, soy, cottonseed oils. It's not good for them. So if you have a dog, switch to some kind of a feed or a formula that's more meat-based as opposed to grain-based. All right, let's head on over to the other side of the store and see what kind of mess we can get into. Hopefully we won't get arrested. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to check out one of the desserts that I used to love to eat, and I'm just going to, this is random, I've not even looked at the ingredients, but I want to see what's in it. Ingredients: apples, okay, sugar. So this is not organic, so the sugar then is genetically modified. People do not realize that a lot of times. The sugar is GMO. We have modified cornstarch. The corn is likely GMO. 90+% of the corn in the U.S. is GMO. So 2 of the 5 ingredients in this are most likely genetically modified. Not something I would eat today, something I ate 10 years ago though, before I realized how toxic it was to the system. If you're going to eat apples, make sure that they're organic like the ones we're looking at here. One of the things I failed to mention in that last section when we looked at the apple pie was that the apples were probably conventionally grown, so they were full of pesticides. So we finished our tour today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you learned a lot about genetically modified organisms, about pesticides, about reading labels. I guess maybe if there's one takeaway, read the labels. See what's in your foods that you're eating and that you're feeding to your children. We're going to have many more monthly installments of these videos, maybe semi-monthly. So the best is yet to come. Thanks for joining me today, and we'll see you next time. God bless you and have a great day. Ty Bovinger signing out.